Hello students, welcome to another video lesson on describing a place. By the end of this lesson, you will know how to write a paragraph describing a place using simple words and correct grammar. In the previous video lesson, I shared with you what information you need to include when you are writing a paragraph describing a place. However, this lesson will concentrate on how actually to write the paragraph, incorporating everything you have learned in the previous lesson. So let's start with the structure of a paragraph. I already shared the structure with you in the previous video, and here I'm just revising it. A paragraph describing a place must have three things: a topic sentence, supporting details, and concluding sentence. Now, the question will look somewhat like this. They might ask you to write a description of a place. They might ask you a place where you live, place where you study, a place which is famous, things like that. Here, for the practice purposes, I have written a place where your university is located. So we are going to write the description of a place where your university is located. And your university is located in Nizwa. So basically, we are going to write the description of Nizwa. Sometimes in the exam, it will also ask you to include information about the location, the facilities, and also the kind of people who live there and the jobs that people do. These two things I did not discuss in my previous video. But sometimes they will ask you in exam to write about the type of people who live there and the types of jobs people do there. So in today's lesson, we are going to see how to include this information in our paragraph. Now, before we actually begin writing, let's quickly take a look at what to include in the paragraph. We need to write the name of the place what you are describing. In this case, we are describing Nizwa. So you need to include the name of the place first. Then distance from the capital city. It is compulsory. Whereas in the question it says location also. If you know the location of the place, you need to mention that. And distance from the capital city. Then you write the population of that place. Weather, places people can see, facilities, places to buy things, activities people can do, and any other special things. Now, in this case, what are the other special things? That how are the people and what job they do. These are the extra things which you need to include in the paragraph. Now we are ready to write. Let's begin. For introduction, you need to always start with a topic sentence. I shared with you 4 topic sentences in the previous video. Here are those 4 sentences. You can choose any one of the sentences given here to write your introduction. If you are writing about any place in general, go for number 1. This short paragraph is about Nizwa. Today we are writing about Nizwa. So this short paragraph is about Nizwa. If you are writing about a famous place or a special place in your country or any other country, then you can choose number 2 and 3 as a topic sentence. Like there are many amazing places in Oman and Salalah is one of them. Or Salalah is a famous place in Oman. So whenever you are writing about a special or a famous place, choose number 2 or 3. Finally, if you are writing about your hometown, choose the last one. I am from Muscat. I am from Sohar. I am from Ibri. Like that. Okay. So in general about any paragraph, choose number 1. About any special place or a famous place, either choose number 2 or number 3. And if you are writing about your hometown, choose number 4. So in this case, we will choose number 1, the topic sentence number 1. This short paragraph is about Nizwa, as we are going to write about a place where your university is located. And your university is located in Nizwa. So we chose this sentence and we write the name of the place. So this short paragraph is about Nizwa. Now we are done with the name of the place. Now, the question asked you to write the location. So how to write about the location? It is in the Dakhiliya region. This is the location of Nizwa. If you are writing about any town from Oman, you will know in which region it is located and you mention it. If you are asked to write about any other country, outside any other city outside Oman, then see if the country is located in any of the continents or if it comes under Asia, Europe or wherever, and then you write its location. Clear? If you are writing about Oman, then you will write Dakhiliya region, Batina region, Muscat Governorate, like that. Okay? Now we finish with the name of the place and location. Next, you need to write distance from the capital city. How far is Nizwa from the capital city, Muscat? It is around 200 kilometers away from Muscat. Now, why we are using the word around here? You use the word around when you exactly don't know the distance. So around 200 means it can be more than 200, little more than 200 or little less than 200. So whenever you are talking about a distance and you are not very sure about the exact distance, use the word around. It is around 200 kilometers away from Muscat. So we finish with the name, we finished with the location, and we finished with the distance. What next? Next, you have to write about the population of the place. Now, you always don't know the population of the place, so you can write any rough figure for the population. For example, in this case, we are writing it has a population of around 65,000. Okay, you can use the word around or about for the distance and the population. If you are writing about any place in Oman, your hometown or any other towns in Oman, you use the word around 50,000, like that you write, because most of the places have more or less than 50,000 people living there. So you can just write a general figure. It has a population of around 65,000. In this case, we know the population of Nizwa, so we are writing the exact number. Next is weather. After writing about the population, you write about the weather. Now, normally the weather in Nizwa is it is very hot in summers and a little cool in winters. You can also write simply like that. It is hot in summers and cool in winters. But that will make your sentence a simple one. So to add more information to it, you can write Nizwa has the usual weather, hot summers and cool winters. Clear? Then you will write what are the places in Nizwa which tourists can visit. Now here there are many places. So you can write in Nizwa, there is a very famous fort called Nizwa Fort, right? That is one of the main tourist attractions in Nizwa. So you can write the name of the place, and if it is only one, you will use there is, and if it is famous, use the word famous. So in Nizwa, there is a very famous fort called Nizwa Fort. Now, what happened with the famous places? People come to see them, so you can mention that extra information. Many tourists come to Nizwa to see the fort. This is the extra information you are providing about the famous place. Now, what is another famous place? It is Falash Dares. Now, what is special about Falashdar is that it is a World Heritage Site. It is always better to include extra information about the famous places and about whatever you are writing. So here Falashdar is another place to see, but it is a World Heritage Site, so you are including that information as well. It also has a World Heritage Site, Falashdar. And what else is famous, and what are the other places to see in Nizwa? Jabal Akhdar and Jabal Shams. What are they? They are mountains, and they are famous mountains. So you can write it is also famous for mountains like Jabal Akhdar and Jabal Shams. So you included here four places to see. If tourists come to Nizwa, what are the special places they can see? You started with the most famous Nizwa Fort, then you talked about the World Heritage Site Falash Dares and the famous mountains Jabal Akhtar and Jabal Shams. So if there are any other places, you can include that as well. Like there is a museum in Nizwa which is opened recently. So you can write about that also. Now, after places to see, you need to write about the facilities. Facilities means services which are provided to the people living in Nizwa. Let's write about it. Now, in facilities, you can say Nizwa has many facilities, like there are many hospitals, schools, and a police station. We are using there are because the hospitals are more than one, the schools are also more than one, and there is one police station in Nizwa. So these are all the facilities you need to mention. Also, there are two universities in Nizwa. And what are the other facilities? There are many banks, mosque, shopping mall, and many parks. So, whatever the services are available to the people living in that place, you can mention. If there are more, you will use there are many. If it is one, there is a, you will use and write about all the facilities. Okay, we finished now about the facilities also. What is next? Places to buy things. Now, where people go to buy things. So they go to supermarkets, stores, and to gift shops in Nizwa. So there are many supermarkets, stores, and gift shops in Nizwa. And then to add extra information, you can say people go to these places to buy their things from them. Okay, just writing about the places to buy things are also enough, but it's always better to add some extra information. What's next? Activities people can do in Nizwa. So we'll write now about the activities. Now, what when people come to Nizwa, what activities they can do? Actually, there are a lot of activities they can do. You can mention all of them. But because we have to write only 150 words in a paragraph, I'm writing only two activities for the example here. So there are many activities for people to do in Nizwa, like hiking and swimming in Falaj. These are the very common, most common and most liked activities which people do in Nizwa. So you can mention that there are many activities, but you can give the example of two or three activities that they can do, like how I mentioned. There are many activities for people to do in Nizwa, like hiking and swimming in Falaj. You can also say hiking in the mountains of Jabal Akhdar and Jabal Shams and Misfat. You can mention where they can actually hike, or you can say hiking in mountains, or if you just say hiking also, it's fine. Now, next is the other things. What other things the question asked you? It asked about the kind of people who live in Nizwa and also the jobs they do. So let's write about them. Now, people in Nizwa, how are they? They are kind and helpful. If they have other qualities, you can write that also. People in Niswa are kind and helpful, and then add the extra information saying they always help each other and they always help people who come to Niswa, like that you can mention. Now we'll write about the jobs they do. People of Niswa do different kinds of jobs, like work in hospital, they work in school, police, bank, and university. These are the jobs. But there are some people who do not do the job, they have their businesses. So you need to mention that also. Some people have their own shops and businesses. So you mention about what type of people live in Niswa, and you also mention what jobs they do. So with this, we have come to an end of our paragraph. Now we need to conclude by writing the concluding sentence. Again, I have given you examples of 3 concluding sentences. If you are writing about any general place, use number 1. That's a little about and write the name of the place. If you are writing about a famous place, choose number 2. That's why I like and the name of the place. And if you are writing about your hometown, choose number 3. That's all about my hometown. Now, in this case, we will choose number 1. That's a little about Niswa. And if you combine the whole paragraph, it will look something like this, and it is coming around 186 words. Whereas you're supposed to write only 150 words. Because we added some extra information to each thing, our word limit has reached to 186. And it is always better to write more words than writing the less words, because if you write less than the prescribed words, you will get minus marks in the content. But if you add more words and if you write more than the limit, it means you understood the task, you know what information should go there, and you will not be lacking the number of words when you write your final paragraph in exam. So thank you for watching. Keep watching the videos before the exam and before the test to revise. If you still have doubts, you can ask me in the comment section or in the class. And do subscribe to the channel so that you know whenever I put any new video, you can see it. I'm going to record the videos for grammar as well. So stay tuned till we meet next time. Take care. Goodbye.